Hello, friends and enemies. It's your boy Ollie, and who needs an intro? These are ADHD memes. Oh, but before I forget, if you could do the YouTube things and like, comment, subscribe, I'd appreciate it. Now let's get into it. ADHD PI be like, hold on, predominantly inattentive. I'm combined type. I'm a combination. I'm a fucking disaster. Absolute gremlin fed after midnight. My ADHD at 3 a.m. after waking up to go pee. Ah, yes. Allow me to recite the ancient text to you. Here is the entire plot of Holes, and how the book differed from the movie. On an unrelated note, here's the plot of the first 4 Dune books. Lol. Stanley Yelnats would have had a way easier time if he could summon a sandworm. By the way, I know you haven't heard this song in years, but here is Stan by Eminem in its entirety, including the music video. Oh, and one more thing. I know you're trying to sleep right now because you have work tomorrow and you don't want to wake your boyfriend up, but you are super hot and itchy all over. Your hair is touching your face, and it tickles. Why is your inner ear itchy? Does your tongue normally rest there in your mouth? Oh man, that's such a fucking onslaught. This is me trying to go to sleep. My God. And man, you know how many amazing video essays I have had ideas for and subsequently forgot because that is when I got the idea? Oh, it's infuriating. Oh, it's frustrating. Oh, it's some other third thing. My ADHD during the day. Can't drive good frown. Sleepy all day. Can't remember lol. Stop paying attention mid-conversation. Where is my phone? I haven't gotten up in 6 hours. I feel attacked. I feel very attacked. It's like all of the best benefits of ADHD come at the most inopportune times. Do you realize how much shit I could get done if I could pretend it gave me fucking dopamine? What the hell, man? Sometimes I think, but then I forget. Same little raccoon. Me too. I don't know if my memory being so poor is ADHD or the weed, but man, I gotta say, it's not the best, but it's not the best for important things. For really frivolous shit, I remember everything. Like song lyrics from 20 years ago, or I don't know, other stuff. Remembering what I can remember is something I can't remember. How do I regain my love of art when I'm constantly relearning from scratch? Get back into drawing, feel bad about what I make, lose motivation and stop drawing, get rusty, feel bad about not drawing, force myself to draw, get back into drawing. I am in this picture and I don't like it. It's actually something I've been working on a lot, to try to get myself to do art, to create things without thinking too much about the final product and without getting too down and losing motivation. It's hard. Making these videos is part of that attempt. The thing about ADHD is sometimes you need to give yourself some easy wins. You need to go, okay, yeah, I may have an idea for like 15 different video essays in various stages of production. That might be true. But all of these are going to take a lot of time and effort and care if I want to do them the way that I want to do them. So, what do? Do you knock out a few meme videos that you just have fun making and don't have to think too much about and just kind of enjoy the reaction process? Or do you beat yourself up and never finish any of the projects that you want to start? So far, it's been a good experience, and working on the other things on the side has felt a little bit less stressful because of it. Also, this is an aside a little bit, but I do want to talk about how we think about art and how we think about what we produce when we do art. I think we look at it wrong because not everything needs to be amazing. Draw things for you that look bad. Draw things out of your comfort zone. Tear it up at the end. It doesn't matter. Art is for you. Art is not about a product to be sold. Instead of feeling bad about what you make, just make more things. That is what I am leaning into, and I don't know if it's working or not, but by golly, I'm trying. Also, if you never get good, you don't have time to get rusty. Just saying. ADHD superpowers. My superpowers. The ability to set things down and leave them there forever. I'll never touch these papers again. This is my comfort stack of mail, and it will not be touched. The ability to transform an ordinary chair into a storage place for clothes. Don't you talk to me or my pile of clothes on my chairs ever again. It's behind me now. The ability to not notice if a drawer is slightly open. Not me. Couldn't be me. I am like, oh my god, it's gotta be closed. The things need to be correct. The ability to, honey, these aren't exactly superpowers. Shh. I'm doing the one where I leave clothes in the washer for days. Fuck. Be right back. That wasn't a bit. I had to flip my laundry. My bad. I wasn't ready. Tell me the truth. I'm ready to hear it. That task you've been putting off for 6 months will take 10 minutes. Don't tell me that. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready either. Oh, it will take... Cleaning up will not take that long, but my god. I can't get started. I'm not recording this to put off anything. What are you talking about? Today, I completed a chore I have been putting off for 6 months. It took 15 minutes. I will learn nothing from this. I don't need to hear this. Not only do I not need to hear this, but I keep hearing this on this subreddit, and I'm not appreciative of it. Stop telling me how to fix things. Me, when I'm taking a route I've taken a million times, my ADHD brain notices a dent and a sign that I've never noticed before. I have no memory of this place. I don't need anything to be different for me to completely not recognize a place I've been to multiple times. My biggest problem, though, is not that. When I am out driving and I get lost in my thoughts and I just completely miss where I was going to turn, where I was going to go. The highway is the worst when this happens because it's always the same looking. And I will just blow past my exit and then another exit and then another exit before I realize, wait a minute, where am I? I do want to say one thing. And that's, my spatial recognition started getting better when I started playing chess. So if you really struggle with that, maybe give chess a try. For some reason, it helped me. When you need to be serious, but brain does the thing. When you try to unpack your trauma in therapy, but also try not to derail into wondering if penguins would look better in suits or Hawaiian shirts. No, I would just derail. Sometimes you need to give your brain a little break. Sometimes you want to get the thought out, and it's easier to just get the thought out and continue on with what you were doing. Sometimes it's not. I mean, it kind of depends on your flavor of ADHD. And sometimes I just gotta say something so that other words can also be said. I guess that might be clear because I've already gone on multiple tangents in this very video. I don't know how many I'll cut out. This picture came about because of this exact thing happening. My ADHD coming up to me with a new hobby. Me, still burnt out from the last one. My God, the number of hobbies I have is insane, is absurd, is crazy. I really like that I am able to do a lot of things when it comes to, like, art. I'm glad that if I have a fancy to do something in one medium, I probably have that medium already. And I can just sit down and do it. I'm a jack of all trades, master of none, which is oftentimes better than a master of one. My problem is less burnout and more, I don't have fucking time for all these hobbies. How am I supposed to draw, edit videos, stream, have time for myself, take care of my dog, spend time with my partner, clean, hang out with my friends, other stuff? Like, there's so much to do. How am I supposed to do it all? It's not about the energy, which maybe I don't have that energy, but I especially don't have the time. I need another, 6 hours in a day, you know what I'm saying? Cute dogs, though. Me every morning. Sometimes I'm late just because I stay like this for a long time. Me. My God. You think the eyeball doesn't sit and stare into space? I guess I just float. Guess it's not technically sitting. Think I don't just stare off into space and don't think about anything for a long time? Completely off in my own space? Or nowhere? Nowhere at all? Empty head, no thoughts? Full head, too many thoughts? Doesn't matter which, I'm just gonna be sitting there. It's better when I take my ADHD meds. I'm shocked. It's shocking. I know. One of us. One of us. I feel this report from Prussian cops spying on Marx. I feel it in my soul. He leads the existence of a real bohemian intellectual. Washing, grooming, and changing his linen are things he does rarely, and he likes to get drunk. Though he is often idle for days on end, he will work day and night with tireless endurance when he has a great deal of work to do. He has no fixed times for going to sleep and waking up. He often stays up all night and then lies down fully clothed on the sofa at midday and sleeps till evening, untroubled by the comings and goings of the whole world. Based as hell on me, except for the drinking. Marx really is one of us. Call me a real bohemian intellectual, 'cause I am on my couch at noon, sleep until evening. I love this guy, haha. Sending me to a diagnostician. Prescribing Ritalin to see whether it works. My psychiatrist, let's go. You know what? Sometimes you don't need to do all of the diagnostic shit if the medication works. If you can, if it's feasible for you, get diagnosed. But it's okay if you don't have to jump through all of those hoops. Especially if, you come in presenting with literally everything ADHD. If you are ADHD to a T, I think a decent diagnostician might go, look, we can just try treating the problem and see what happens. But this one has a lot of comments, so I'm going to look at the comments. Well, same. I had one appointment with my current psych, and she said, I think you've got ADHD. We're going to try a baby dose of Ritalin and see what happens. Yeah, see, I don't think it's super abnormal for somebody to present with ADHD symptoms and to get medication. Meanwhile, my psych is like, I see you are struggling with ADHD. We aren't going to prescribe ADHD meds because they're addictive, ooh. Let's try breathing exercises for 3 weeks. Thank you for $400 for 30 minutes. That is too much money. That is too much fucking money. I have never paid $400 for a 30-minute session with a psychiatrist. That is insane. And also, ADHD medication is not addictive. It is addictive if you take it in a way you're not supposed to. But if you're taking it correctly, at your correct dosage, as prescribed, it's not going to be addictive. I know for a fact, I've been on ADHD medicine a long time. And I forget to take it all the time. And the only symptoms that I get from that are not withdrawal, but ADHD symptoms. Anyway, let's see. I'm sure other people are also saying what I just said. It's crazy because I told my doctor I didn't want meds because I was afraid of addiction because I'm a fucking addict. He told me that he bet me if I started these medications, I'd never have an issue with abusing stimulant medications again, and I'll be damned if he wasn't right. Yeah, I think that's another side of things, right? Sometimes addiction is hiding the real problem. A lot of the time, people fall into addictions because of untreated mental illness or untreated conditions like ADHD. I'm going to use a non-drug example for this. I really, really love candy. And when I don't take my ADHD medicine, it's impossible for me to not have candy. If there is candy, I will eat it. If I'm on my ADHD medication, even if there is no appetite suppressing effects, I'm not finding myself constantly reaching for candy. The thing is, ADHD is an issue with your frontal lobe, and your frontal lobe regulates a whole lot, including, but not limited to, your ability to, say no to drugs. Now, I'm not saying that, oh man, everybody with ADHD is like a drug addict if they're not medicated. That's absurd. But our faculties that help with regulating what we do and what we put into our bodies is impaired. And also, you could be using stimulants to help medicate your own ADHD without even realizing it. Because if you can't focus, but then you take stimulants and can focus, can get your shit done when you couldn't before, well, of course you're going to start abusing stimulants. Especially in our current capitalist society where we are expected to always be productive. That's just how those two things play into each other. I have never once even been tempted to abuse these. Turns out I was self-medicating all along, just with very destructive drugs. Exactly what I'm saying. And when you switch to having this medication in a controlled environment where you aren't just self-medicating, it's a game changer. And is very much not an addiction. I am also an addict. Didn't even suspect I had ADHD until after I finally got clean. I was 32 when I found out, and all of a sudden, my near constant use of whatever substances were available from age 17 to 31 made a lot more sense. She had me try a couple non-stimulant options first, but they either didn't work well or had serious side effects. That was my experience with non-stimulant options too. They did not work for me. After I'd been sober for 1.5 years, she started me on Vyvanse. I could never give a good answer to people when they asked me why I drank and used drugs over and over again, because I just felt uncomfortable being sober even when I wasn't particularly anxious or depressed. Vyvanse got rid of that nagging, restless feeling that seemed to always be present, and I could never really put into words. At the same time, the depression and anxiety I'd been struggling with for most of my life started getting better too. I wish I had figured this out a long time ago, but I'm grateful it happened at all. Congrats on ending your addictive substance abuse. I hope we both have seen the end of that cycle for good. This is such a positive thing to read. I'm so glad that I read this, and I'm keeping it in the video because it is so heartening to see people ending substance abuse and looking in themselves and not only figuring out why, but having an actionable plan that has worked and helped them. That is not only so amazing for them, but so encouraging for anybody who's maybe not, or who's maybe in this situation. being medicated for ADHD didn't cure my anxiety or depression. It helped my ADHD. Really lucky for that person that they were so connected. I was diagnosed at 30 years old because I told my new doctor I used to be addicted to meth and needed to smoke meth to go to sleep. He was like, "Hold up, say that again?" Then he asked for my diagnoses, and I told him depression and PTSD, and he asked if I had treatment-resistant depression, and I said yes. He said, He then asked me a few other questions, and then told me he thought I had ADHD, and I laughed and told him no way. We chatted for a bit, and by the end of the conversation, he was like, "Not only do you have ADHD, your picture could be in the dictionary next to the word ADHD." Gave me Vyvanse, and my life changed. So yeah, I didn't have to do the Ritalin thing because I had already done it with meth LMAO. That's nuts. That is crazy. These are some... I'm glad I looked at the comments. Used to snort shard to sleep. Diagnosed at 37 by my general nurse practitioner. Told him about the one time I did meth for 10 years and actually managed to keep a job, get projects done, and be generally normal. Sad part is that almost everyone noticed the ADHD within minutes of meeting me, and absolutely no one bothered telling me. That's rough. It's one of those thoughts that I have sometimes, because I get when people are like, "Hey, don't diagnose people over the internet. Don't diagnose people when they only have like a couple of symptoms that might be." But if you meet somebody in real life and they're very ADHD and maybe they're struggling, it might be worth talking about. It might be worth mentioning. I don't know. Okay, making myself stop, going back, or else we're just going to be looking at the comments all day, and we can't have that. All right, y'all, thanks for watching. Congratulations for making it to the end of the video. I will be back with more. I'm trying to do weekly videos, and the meme ones are really fun to make. I've also got some other stuff in the works. So, if you could like, comment, subscribe, check out my other videos maybe, I'd really appreciate it. If you are more of a stream guy, I stream on Twitch. I also have a VOD channel if you prefer to watch them after they have aired. Thanks for hanging out, y'all. I love each and every one of you. Peace.